Welcome into Gamesthetic, episode 165. I'm outside with Sparky3. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today, whether if you're watching this live, watching after the fact, or listening after the fact. We appreciate the hell out of you. I got both the boys here with me after a nice little break week. Boys, how we doing? How we feeling? Zach, how are you?
I'm doing good. I
good.
can't complain.
Yeah, got some nice new Rogue over there, I see.
Yep.
Shout out to that.
A new chill brand.
How does it taste? Is it delicious? Is it one of the best flavors you've had?
It's mid for me.
Mid for you. Okay.
And I think it's because of the hibiscus part, because I don't know what the heck hibiscus is supposed to taste like.
That's fair, because I've got hibiscus drinks. I'm like, what is this like? And I drink it. I'm like, I don't know if this is for me.
I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I still drink it and enjoy it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And we got John. John, how are you?
I'm here. I'm having a little moment to myself over here. But yeah, the same thing. Like when Zach asked where the hibiscus flavor was, I was sitting here going, "The hell's hibiscus?" I didn't know what you were looking for.
Yeah. Shout out to Rogue Chill, the new flavor. You can pick that up now. It's designed to help you relax and reduce some anxiety. I'm gonna snag some from you before you leave, and I'm gonna try it, and we'll see if it actually helps with my anxiety. It's gonna be great. I'll do a report next week. But yeah, so back after a little week off, I went to St. Louis this past weekend. I got to go to the Stardew Orchestra Concert Festival of Seasons. It was a beautiful theater. It was a good show. Had a great time. I think they're going to Canada next. Is their next step. So shout out to that. If there are tickets still available for it, I definitely recommend picking it up because it was fun. It was a good time. That merch was very expensive.
I mean, it's concert merch.
It was very expensive. $120 for a hoodie and a bag. And I was just like, Jesus Christ.
It's
What
concert merch,
I
bro.
know.
What
I
a
know.
steal.
Yeah, what I know. I know.
Get the conductor to sign it.
Do what?
Get the conductor to sign it.
That conductor was pretty. That conductor was pretty sweet, so that would have been a top tier signing. He was pretty solid in all capacities. But no, that was good. Had a great time there. So for today's episode, so talk a little bit about Helldivers 2 continued success and kind of exclusivity. That kind of conversation kind of popped back up this past week from previous Sony boss Sean Layden, as well as a former Xbox boss Peter Moore, both kind of touched on that for you in a couple different capacities. So we'll chat about that. Insomniac's canceled multiplayer game Spider-Man: The Great Web, a trailer leaked from still this big Insomniac leak that they've been dealing with. A full trailer leaked out for it. Going to kind of go over that, give thoughts on it, because again, this is like that canceled game, and it's just like, this is one that actually looks really good. So it's like, why'd you cancel it? And then we'll chat about whatever we've been up to, which I know both the boys have been playing some WWE 2K24. Zach's been doing a little bit of Unicorn Overlord, as have I, and just really whatever else we've been up to. It'll be fun. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend, and we'd appreciate that extra support. We'll also give a shout out to our sponsors, Rogue and Agent Inc., later on in the show. All right, let's turn this down and go to 3 cams. Before we really get into stuff, this is the first time. No, it's not. I mean, it's the first time I've been on a show that's relevant to the situation because I did have ATFS earlier this week. But obviously, massive shout out to friends and families, to everyone close to Akira Toriyama, legendary creator of Dragon Ball, passed away. Passed away on the 1st, and we got the news for it on the 9th. So they kept that one tight-lipped there for 9 days to kind of go through the motions. Kind of go through the motions and. Before anything got out to the public, but massive.
That was a
rest in peace.
very interesting weekend just watching Twitter.
Oh, I know. That was gut wrenching.
The best thing I saw was just my entire Twitter timeline right now, and everyone bowed in respect.
Yes, I mean that's basically what it was, man. I also saw like a huge community event that was on Xenoverse 2, where everyone was just like giving the energy to the Spirit Bomb emote, whatever.
Yeah.
So it was a time. That was a heartbreaking one, man. Because when it comes to like celebrity passings, they all suck. Unless they're a shitty person. They all suck, and you just like T's and P's. Hate to see someone go. That's like really influential or like a great actor, musician, whatever. But it's like we don't know that person. You know what I mean? So it's like there's not many, in my opinion, that we can get really fucked up about because like we don't know them. Pay respect. Let the family and friends get fucked up about it. Let's just pay our respects and keep it moving. Because we don't know them. But there are those few that I think everyone's just like when it happens, it's like. Fuck, that one sucks. For me, Akira is probably the third one for me. The first one's being Chester. Still in disbelief about that one. And Jason David Frank. Still in disbelief about that one. And now Akira Toriyama.
I mean, and Even though he's most known for Dragon Ball, I mean, he had such influence on things like Dragon Quest,
Yep.
tons of characters in
Yep.
gaming in general.
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger, yep.
Yep,
A
Chrono
lot of the
Trigger.
early Square Enix games, he worked on a lot of character designs and things like that.
Yeah, and make sure I'm also gonna, I also want to shout this out because like I've been kind of interested in checking it out, but now that he's passed this year, I feel like I have to check out this game. We have that
Sandland?
Sandland game coming out, which is one of like his earlier works, like I think before Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Now they might have been after Dragon Ball actually. I think Sandland may have been like a one-shot thing in like 2000. I think that sounds right. So it technically after Dragon Ball, but yeah, I think I'm gonna check out Sandland now. I feel like it's a must. I feel like I have to do this now. So shout out to that, man. Rest in peace. Unfortunate thing there. All right, let's jump into things, boys. Let's jump into things and just get the train rolling and have the best show that we can possibly have. All right, so the first thing that I'll chat about here today, we'll chat about the Helldivers 2, continued success. I know you mentioned it to me earlier when we were texting, and the exclusivity thing around it, because this is a conversation we already kind of touched on a couple weeks ago, and I kind of want to expand upon it again and just kind of continue to talk about it and stuff like that. So Helldivers 2 is now sold like over 8 million copies. It's well ahead of expectations. Obviously, I think Helldivers 1, like God, it only had like what 7,500 players or something like that. It was something ridiculous. Servers continue to have to be increased and worked on because, like, I know you told me that you've gotten articles that people are breaking servers basically.
Well, so more or less what that was is like last week, the community event was to liberate a specific planet, and upon liberating it, they gained access to a factory that built mechs that people could deploy, a new stratagem to deploy mechs. And apparently the players were so ready for mechs that they conquered the planet 4 times ahead of time of expectations.
Yeah.
And they had just gotten the servers up and running to a point where people could actively get on and whatnot. Then the mechs came out, and the mechs destroyed everything again. And they're just like, and they had to be, sorry, the mechs are being a disturbance. We're going to increase servers again.
Yeah, like the game is just literal pure chaos in like the best way.
Yeah.
From like the mech stuff they've added. Have they added, or is it still coming? The fire tornadoes, is that in the game now?
I
know it's coming. I
think it's coming because right now the
Okay.
community event, they're working on liberating 4 planets from the bugs.
Okay.
And if upon success, they get some sort of pesticide, that stratagem, but it also frees those 4 planets for the foreseeable future. And they've also unlocked free rocket launcher stratagems for everyone, even if
Okay.
you don't have it right now.
All right.
So
Great community support on this game so far. Like, I mean, everything's still like the best part is like almost everything's just kind of like mostly being like added for free, isn't it? Like, there's a couple
everything's
things
for free.
Yeah, I mean, like it's great community support. It's going to be in that category for the Game Awards, that's for sure. Probably going to win it too, especially if it keeps on, rocking this way for the next few months and stuff. But just like the success for it, it's just unbelievable right now. Like it is like the content for it is hilarious.
Oh,
I love seeing it on TikTok. It fucking kills me.
Because this week's event, they have a whole week to liberate 4 planets. They were liberating a planet a day last I checked.
Really?
Yeah, it's fascinating from my perspective because I've seen all the news on the game. I've kind of avoided it because, I mean, it's one of those games where you hear everything about it. Once you start seeing it, you kind of get that mode of, man, I really want to play it now.
I want to try it.
I do want to get it, yes.
And I had avoided it completely, like actually watching anything on it until yesterday.
Oh.
Are you watching the bug conquering?
I was watching some of it. Man, that game.
It looks so much fun.
It's one of those games that looks insanely fun, but also at the exact same time is probably one of the games that is even more fun to play.
Exactly.
which is a rare thing to like see all the clips and go, yeah, that looks insane, and then just be sitting there and go, that's got to be the most fun thing ever to actually do.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I mean, look, I want to get it, boys. Okay. Like,
I mean, it's a good game to
wanna
pick
get
up
it.
because
I plan to buy it.
It's under sort of regular what you would expect from a game that looks that good, and only $40 versus the 70 we're getting used to. So
Right. Yeah, no, I want this game. So if you guys are interested, let me know because I plan to buy it sometime here in the near future.
I'm not sure if my PC can run it now because my PC's old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd 100% be down to give it a go.
I want to give it a go.
'Cause I have a feeling that it's one of those games where it's like you're playing it, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it's gonna just it's the type of game that's gonna create moments.
Yeah.
Like you said, you've been seeing on TikTok that
Yep.
it's one of those great games where it's like at any point in time something dumb can happen that's just a great clip to see.
Right. Like, and that's the beauty of it. The beauty of it as well is, again, behind like the fact that it was a day and date launch with PC. We kind of chatted about this, I think a couple of weeks ago, but I just thought it was really interesting to see Sean Layden come out and talk about it. I think he was in an interview with VentureBeat, I think who it was. And he was really kind of dialing in on like just the cost of games and stuff, and obviously referencing Spider-Man 2, where its cost got leaked from all the court stuff, where basically kind of what he was talking about recently is like when a game exceeds $200 million, exclusivity is your Achilles heel. It reduces your addressable market, particularly when you're in a world of live service gaming or free to play on other platforms. It's another way of opening the funnel, getting more people in a free play world. As we know, 95% of those people will never spend a nickel. I don't know if that's an accurate number, though. I will say that 95% will never spend a nickel. I don't know about that one, Chief. I think that one that might be a little bit different. I'm not saying it's going to be high, but or extremely low. But I definitely think that's not completely accurate.
It's probably closer these days than you actually think it is, because
it depends on the game, I guess.
Well, most games because like any free to play game, yes, it's gonna have microtransactions, it's gonna have its battle pass, it's gonna have all that. But more than ever these days, like just by like you could be a completely free to play person playing whatever game, whether it's like I don't know how some of them work, but most battle passes, they're still the free version is still gonna give you like decent enough skins. You'll slowly accrue some currency, like some of the premium currency, to where you can eventually get like the paid version of the battle pass or something if you find one you like. And most of the time with these battle passes nowadays, just like buying it and playing it through the end gives you enough credits to, or like whatever your premium currency is, to be able to buy the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw that number, and my first thought is I feel like probably like 80% is probably more accurate. We'll probably never spend. I feel like there's a good chunk of people that's going to spend something at least once, even if it's like $1, $2. You know what I mean? That was my thought. It's like I feel like it's more maybe 80% will never spend a nickel. Either way, that different conversation. The business is all about conversion. You have to improve your odds by cracking the funnel open. Helldivers 2 has shown that for PlayStation, come out to PC at the same time. Again, you get the funnel wider, you get more people in. He did address the single player conversation, which is where we kind of led with it, a couple weeks ago, where it's just like can see them kind of doing the multiplayer games on both, but keeping single player like more exclusive. But he said like for single player games, it's not the same demand. But if you're spending $250 million, you'll want to be able to sell it to as many people as possible. It's just 10% more. Former Xbox boss Peter Moore also said the same thing recently when talking about Halo. He said if Microsoft says to themselves, wait, we're doing $250 million on one of our own platforms, but if we took Halo and like let's say make it third party, we could do $1 billion. You got to think long and hard about that, right? So it's just like they both talk about that exclusivity is still important and it's still an important thing. And I think all three of us can agree to that. That's what makes the consoles. If we didn't have exclusivity, it's like what's the point of buying them? You know what I mean? But it does continue to raise that interesting conversation of cases like Sony with their day and date stuff. You know what I mean? Just to continue to increase the revenue. And it's kind of the question, what titles need to be that day and date? Is it strictly just multiplayer games? Is it single player games that might be a little bit of a smaller IP releasing on PlayStation, basically keep like the God of Wars and the Spider-Mans and stuff like that, PlayStation only for the first year or two, then bring it over. It's like, where's the line with this? Because I'm still personally, I know you guys don't agree with me, but I'm still in the boat that PlayStation is going to have a Sony launcher eventually. It may be a couple years from now, but it's coming. It's just a matter of when, in my opinion. What's you guys' thoughts on what titles, like what direction they should go with this? Because I really do feel like Helldivers 2 is going to make them be like, maybe we need to reevaluate some things, not all, but some.
It's not even just, look at it. It's not even just Sony doing it.
Yeah, true.
A couple weeks ago, we literally talked about Xbox addressing like what games are going multi-plat.
Yeah, that's true. True.
And I assume that Sony's gonna kind of look at it the same way. funny enough, they'll probably be a little less strict with it, in a sense, where like Microsoft games that are like a game like Hi-Fi Rush, for example.
Yeah.
That's a game like that is when I feel like nobody's gonna look at it and go, yes, this absolutely has to be just on our console. Not anymore. Where it's like they may do it for a limited period of time, but realistically, that should come out on every console the moment it's released.
Yeah.
Or it should come out everywhere the moment it's released. But it's like some of the other games, like you talking like multiplayer games. Well, then you have to look at like from Xbox side of it. I mean, they're just now going to be letting Sea of Thieves go.
Yeah, I know, right?
And that's one of those great examples of Xbox can do that for Sea of Thieves and keep it on their own network for so long, where I don't think Sony could have done that with Sea of Thieves.
Right.
Just because Sea of Thieves has been Game Pass, play it wherever you want to, however, for like as much as you want to. Whereas I don't think Sony could have gotten away with that strictly because they don't have the PC market right now.
Right. I did see with the Sea of Thieves thing and going to PlayStation, I saw like some article where Xbox said, yeah, Sony's been like super helpful getting this over. I'm like, yeah, I bet they are.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting a huge player base.
There was a screenshot where the most pre-ordered game coming up was Sea of Thieves on PlayStation Network.
Yeah, like I bet they were really helpful getting it over. Yeah, you know, you're getting a huge player base, so I have no doubt on that.
But also, like, speaking of Sony looking at like Helldivers 2 with the success of it, I'm also pretty certain, like this is just my opinion, that upon Helldivers, like them gonna be releasing it, they're probably looking at it like, I mean, your previous game didn't do hardly anything. Yeah, we'll let you do what you want to here, and it comes out and blows up, and they're like, hold on a minute. This was the plan all along.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be this way.
We knew it was going to be a banger and take over the world.
They're never going to know. They can always just guess which games are going to do well.
Yeah.
Granted, when it comes to single player games, yeah, most of the time we know the ones that are going to be the big hitters of the year, or like the big hitters that are going to come out, because it's usually certain developer that's got the track record of like, hey, we make really good versions of games that's this style.
Yeah.
Let us make that. And they go, yeah, here, have some money.
Kind of like the whole Naughty Dog situation where they had that, you know, that factions multiplayer and they canceled it. Literally them saying, if we do this, we're going to have to devote most of our, you know, team to this to support it for how long? Like 6 to 8 years. It's like we still want to make single player games. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. And as far as what type of games are going to be multiplat, I assume, like I said, the games like Hi-Fi Rush that really like that game already exploded when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
If that would have been on everything, it would have been even crazier.
Oh, most definitely.
And it's like games like that where it's kind of its own experience in a way, but it's not like it's not like a single player game that you're going to look at and go, that's going to be like the great story game, or that could be a great RPG or something like that for the year. If it's coming from Sony or Xbox or something, they're not going to let those type of games be go everywhere for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say strictly multiplayer games, because I'm pretty sure Sony just got lucky with Helldivers too.
I think so too.
Oh, most definitely.
I think they thought they were sending it out to die, and it blew up and took over the world, and now they're trying to act like it was their vision from the beginning.
No, it's debatable whether they thought it was going to die, because, I mean, Helldivers still had a decent community behind it to keep it going, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, in terms of exclusivity, I mean, I may be on the side of where I follow Microsoft enough where I'm just like, just get shit on everything.
Yeah, people will play it.
Yeah, people will play it regardless. I mean, I see the appeal and stuff of keeping exclusivity for like the main big titles that we know of and everything, especially PlayStation doing it the best, seeing as Microsoft's exclusivities haven't been the greatest the last couple years. I'm looking at you, Redfall.
Poor Redfall catching a strike.
But honestly, Zach, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. It's like, Sony, if you want to keep your God of War, your Spider-Man, your Last of Us, or something like that.
Horizon.
It's like
Horizon,
if
yeah.
you want to keep those,
Their main
it's like
Sony Entertainment
Yes.
It's like-
IPs.
Yes.
the ones that like when you think of PlayStation, that's what you think of.
Yeah.
If you
Right.
want to keep those and be like, these are going to maintain exclusives and eventually we'll release them on PC, I've got no problem with that.
Yeah.
But just about everything, and the same to Microsoft, same like you said. Just put it out. Let it. If I like Sony, if you release a game, I don't want to wait 4 years to play it on PC.
Yeah.
Or it's like Xbox. If you release something, I would like the option to play it where I have all of my other games, which is primarily on my PlayStation
Yeah.
at this point.
Now, I was gonna ask you guys this, and also sidebar. I immediately thought with the Helldivers 2 thing, I thought, oh yeah, we've got that marathon reboot coming. I wonder if that's gonna be that one is actually going to multiplat right out of the gate. So fun fact on that, marathon is going to be on Xbox and PC. So shout out to that, I guess.
I know what he's talking about.
Okay.
The Bungie game. Oh, okay. Well, it PvP extraction shooter was revealed like a year or two ago. It's basically them giving a new breath of fresh air to their original IP. Is what it is. But
it's like it's kind of like old school. Like this is where we came from, and we want to do it again.
yeah,
Gotcha.
exactly.
Okay.
Now, one thing that I was thinking about when it comes like the single player experiences, do you see any chance that like maybe down the line when Sony takes like maybe a swing at one of their single player franchises that really don't perform that well and making that one go to like, let's say PC day and date? Good example, because we saw the numbers. I don't have them off the top of my head, but I know the game went into the negative. Good example, Ratchet and Clank. I know that's a PS2 era classic, right? Like but I think we can all agree Ratchet is not like a main face of PlayStation anymore.
No.
It's not. He's not. And Rift Apart, while a good game, critically acclaimed and stuff, it did not sell well versus the production cost. So my question is, in a game like that, like if they do another Ratchet, do you see that one going to PC day and date to help get those sales moving? Because like the God of Wars, the Last of Us, the Spider-Mans, the Horizons, I totally understand those. But some of these others that do well but don't do well enough, that's where I was just like, okay, yeah, I can see that one maybe going day and day. What do you guys think?
I mean, me personally, at this time, I don't see Sony doing any of their what's very much, as I was mentioned, they're considered their first party IPs as a day and day. I mean, maybe if they drag out dusted off an old one, like maybe Jack and Dexter or Sly Cooper.
Yeah, I was gonna mention those, but I thought you were gonna be the one to be like, that's not happening. Those are dead.
If they wanted to dust those suckers off it, maybe they do those a day and day. But and just how we've seen Sony over the last couple years, even then, I would still see them doing those exclusive, even though I feel like a day and day might be good for an older series.
I think it would be good for them. Yes, you'd get more players in a lot faster.
Because again, those series died back during PS3 era.
Yeah,
I think the last Sly game may have been early PS4.
I think Sly Cooper 4. I think it was PS4.
It was either PS4 or very late PS3.
You're right. It's one of the two. But Jack died in what? Did Jack die in PS3 or PS2?
Jack died in PS3 because we got the Jack and Dexter collection.
Okay, that's true.
In PS3.
Yeah, but the last actual new Jack game was just the racing game, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that was
PS2.
that PS2? Yeah. Oh man, poor Jack and Dexter. Well, we did get the Daxter PSP game. Let's give that some respect.
There was actually two of those.
Oh, we'll give them some respect.
They're actually good.
They are.
They are good. I enjoy those games. I love the PSP.
But yeah, I mean, besides that, that's the only. It would be hard for me to see Sony not doing exclusivity just because of how much we've seen them fight Microsoft and others on crossplay.
Yeah.
I will say, like, when we're talking about like exclusivity versus like just putting it out there on wherever it, like, on all consoles, kind of. I mean, really, at this point, like, we're kind of looking at it like, is Sony gonna be the one to open it up and do it? No. They're gonna still be the side of it that we're like, come on, let us play it on something else.
Right.
Xbox is still gonna be the one where it's primarily like, okay, we're gonna release it and it's like we'll get it over to you pretty quickly if it doesn't come out there immediately. Whereas Sony, most of the time, it feels like it'll happen, but like they're like kicking and clawing their way to hold on to it.
Yeah.
which my other thing here is, which I want to throw in there, is that this is just Microsoft and Sony, and no spectrum or time frame in any kind of world I perfectly know right now. Nintendo will never give up exclusivity.
No, they won't.
We will not see one of their IPs on something else besides a Nintendo console.
True, that's a big fact. I was waiting on someone to mention Nintendo here.
There's no point in mentioning them because like
we already know what they're doing.
they don't even like Nintendo fans playing their games.
They don't like Nintendo's doing ROM hacks
Shout out to Yuzu, man. Yuzu's dead.
Yeah.
and spawned 5 children at the same time.
Like, oh my god,
I mean,
brutal.
Nintendo is of the opinion they're like, you bought a Switch to play this game. It's like, and it's like, because remember they're like with the DS. Originally, the DS, everything was tied. Like everything, if you bought it digitally and everything, it was tied to the DS itself, not your account.
Yep.
So if you lost it or something,
You're screwed.
They were like, and you're like, hey, I bought these games on this account. Is there any way to track it? They're like,
Nope.
Fuck you for being a Nintendo fan. Buy it again.
Basically. Now, a couple things. Number one, Nintendo has at least finally gotten on the board of accounts because the president has been stressing that, make sure you have your account information, whatever, kind of indicating that the next console is probably going to be obviously backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to access your library and stuff. But I will just random tidbit throwing into the Yuzu thing. Nintendo's in the right for that one because, Yuzu's putting out, brand new Switch games. That one I can see an argument for. But where I can't see the argument from Nintendo is when people are trying to, throw out there, Super Nintendo games, Nintendo 64, just trying to keep preservation, right? Because Nintendo doesn't not that great of a job at it. That's where I see those, where they shut down, this site or whatever. I'm like, okay, all right, you guys are being pieces of shit now. Now the argument they had with Yuzu, where it's just like, they got their hands on Tears of the Kingdom weeks before it came out. All right, I can understand that one. But Nintendo, they don't like people playing their games. You're right, they don't. So,
Yeah, they barely tolerate us playing their games after we buy them legitimately.
Yeah, I know. No, Nintendo's gonna Nintendo. They're gonna exist in their own little bubble, and they're gonna be fine in their bubble, and they never want to leave their bubble, and that's fine. Just let them do their thing. Yeah.
I will say the one thing, kind of coming back to Xbox, from Microsoft's side, it's granted, former Xbox boss, but the idea of Halo third party.
Yeah, I know.
It's the fact that that's even mentioned makes you kind of go, wonder how much they've actually talked about that.
They have. That's the thing. Realistically, it's the conversation.
Yeah, it's the question is, how far do you think it's gone? Because somebody's got to be sitting there just going, at the end of the line, just putting their foot down going, no.
Yeah. It's either a very quick conversation or it might be one that lasts a few minutes. You never know, but the conversation has happened or is happening. One of the two. Especially with the dumpster fire that Halo Infinite's consistently been, they've potentially looked at it.
And it's at this point, any Halo fan is just going, just do it. Just do it. How bad? No. It's how bad can it be?
When all those big leaks were coming out that everything's going multi-plat, they're killing the Xbox and all that. I saw a lot of people that I follow that still play Halo Infinite and stuff, where it's just they had some gif of Master Chief stepping up with a gun. It's just I'll be waiting for the Sony guys when they come in day one. I'm ready. It's let them in. Let them in. They want to talk. Let them in.
That's the thing. It's because one idea is if the talk for Halo be a third party, going third party and just kind of being whatever. It's why not? It's how much more of a dumpster fire can it get than what it's been?
Right.
Just let it happen.
Just open the funnel, as Sean Layden said. Open that funnel, bust it open.
Yeah.
Just bust open the funnel. Just do what he said, man. No, it is an interesting conversation, especially with the success of Helldivers. So, I'll be very curious to see what titles are going to continue to be in that situation because obviously they're looking at it with Marathon going multi-plat. Other multiplayer titles they're going to work on, let's say throwing this out there because the other games are obviously on PC. That Horizon multiplayer game, is that going to be on PC fairly quickly? Is it going to be day and date? Is it going to be within a few months, a year? What is that one going to be? Lots of interesting conversations when it comes to that stuff. You know, because with this other topic we've got, you know, the Spider-Man thing is the same thing. If that would have actually come out, would that come out to PC fairly quickly or even day and date? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Not with Spider-Man and Insomniac on it.
Well, with it being, you know, multiplayer games, that's the only reason why I would question, will it? So
No.
I don't know.
Nah, because it's like potentially, but it would be, in my opinion,
Look
anything.
at Foam Stars, Alex.
I know.
It came out and it died.
They had no faith in that game. They threw that thing out to die. Like they threw out Destruction All Stars out to die. Destruction All Stars was supposed to be some launch title at $70 before the PS5 came out, and I looked at it and I was like, it looks kind of cool. And then I saw like a news 2 weeks before the PS5 launch, where it's like, so the game has been delayed. It's coming out in February, and it's going to come out with PlayStation Plus. And I'm like, all right, so this game sucks. Like they're not going to be able to sell it at $70. I feel the same way on Foam Stars. I feel the exact same way. You know, the concept looked like, okay, this could be interesting. You know, they're just trying to make their own Splatoon. That's fine. But it just going immediately to PlayStation Plus, I'm just like, okay, that tells me that you have no faith in this game because I've already seen this cycle before. That's one that maybe could have survived a little bit on PC. A little bit. You know, it would have gotten at least a small little player base. You know what I mean? Probably more than it got on the PlayStation. So, I don't know. All interesting conversations to have.
Where were you going, John, before I cut you off on accident? You remember it now?
Might have lost it.
Where were we?
I think I was pitching like Horizon and Spider-Man to be on.
Oh yeah,
Was
yeah.
it involving that?
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
that
was.
stuff. It's kind of in with the Foam Star stuff in a sense where I can see like your thought of like, well, it's multiplayer.
Yeah.
It might go there. And the thing would be, eventually it would get there. They would probably rush it to be done in 6 months to try to get it there when they realized, oh, people probably didn't only want to play this on like PlayStation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like we needed more people for it. But like for Foam Stars, man, I don't know what they were thinking with that. That's one of those where it's like, I get it. Even for Splatoon on like Switch and that, it's still in its niche corner
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
where it's like it has its fan base and they just stay quiet and they go do their thing and they play Splatoon.
Yeah. It's you know, it's you know, with the way that you worded that, I want to throw in there. It's so shocking with how large that fan base is, but they still stay in their corner and do their thing.
Yeah, they
They
just
do. They really
like,
do.
Like kudos to them, man. They just chill and play the game. Shout out to that.
they just sit over there and they play Splatoon, and it's like Sony's like, man, they really love this game. Let's make our version of it. It's like, yeah, nobody's gonna be quiet and just play it. It's like, you're Sony, man. Everybody's gonna yell. It's like if that comes out and it's not great, people are gonna yell, especially if you make it pay for it.
Especially since that was also a Square published game as well. Double whammy.
Square just
Yeah,
publishes
I was
things.
gonna say-
They publish almost anything.
I was
at
gonna
this
Square
point.
doesn't look at it anymore. They go,
Yep, sign off. One of these is gonna hit. One of these is gonna hit.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take
Square
We're gonna take all the credit.
Square has very much taken the shotgun approach.
They
just,
really have.
They're just like it's like Square. If we throw enough out there, we'll get a hit or two.
Yeah.
no, it's not even that. I feel like at this point with Square, as a publisher, they're just like, oh, you want to put something out? What's the basis? All right, sounds good.
I don't
Here's-
think it.
here's
I don't think
check.
it. I don't think the conversation gets that far sometimes.
It may not.
Yeah, it may not.
It
Like they may lead to see like, you know, like 2 words of a sentence. Like, all right, looks good. Move on.
I think what happens is
Skill shooter, more detail. RPG.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that's right.
Zach, I have a feeling that they just have a submission. Like one person's job is just to sort through all the emails asking to like be published by Square.
Yeah.
And whoever's going through it, they're not reading the email. They're just seeing if the subject line is exciting.
Yeah.
They're looking for like
That's all you got to get. Is
they're
just get them with
looking for the
subject
letters
line.
RPG
Yep,
or a
yep.
cool sounding name.
Yes. That's all they're looking for. They get that. Boom, publishing deal, baby.
It's like, and then after they've signed off on it, someone opens up and reads the email.
Yes, it's just like, wait, what did we sign on for? Oh,
It's like,
this
what are
is
we
gonna
putting?
bomb.
What are we putting our name on now this time?
This is not going to be good.
Because what, has Square laid off anybody?
That's a great question. I don't know, actually.
I don't think they have.
I mean, maybe the method
They got
works.
they got
Well, I mean,
plenty
look,
of they got plenty of stuff to publish. They got
well, not only that, they got money makers as well. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest on that one. You
They-
know?
That's why they can publish all this shit.
I know.
without
They're
no
just like, it's
problem.
not a big deal, man. We got the Final Fantasy, online stuff. We got all the 7 games. We have 16. Like, we're
yeah.
good.
They're literally expanding
good.
FF14 servers for Xbox right now.
Yeah, like they're fine. They
like
can
they-
sign off on whatever they want.
You know what? I think I figured it out. Whoever's approving all of this stuff, it's like the intern that's done the best work for the week. They just let him go have. They just hand him the account and they go, have fun.
Oh,
Pick a couple winners.
hey, whatever intern signed off on DioField, I appreciate you because it's a really fun game.
It's like it's kind of like the intern, the top performer of the week. They go, you get 5.
Have fun. Oh, that's Square in a nutshell, baby. Oh man, I love their publishing strategy.
Oh.
It's fantastic.
But I'm gonna get from before we get off track, you think that it's probably like a 75-25 whether it would have been exclusive Web of Shadows or a multiplayer game, 75 not, 25 maybe.
Yeah, it's like most of the time, or I'd say like 75% of me would say, yeah, no way. It's like I have a feeling it would come out exclusive, and then like I said, they would see some backlash of like PC players or just like see a smaller player count than they expected, and then they would rush a port, but like try to stabilize it instead of just rushing the port and give like 6 months or something and try to save it.
Yeah.
Right. See, the one plus side with any sort, if that game would have come out, talking about Spider-Man: The Great Web, if that would have come out, the one plus side is, Sony does have Nixus software that they've handled pretty much every single PC port. Like that's their job at Sony, is porting games to PC and optimizing it. So they have them. Then I think they have 1 or 2 other small studios they've purchased to just be supports. Like they're just there to help out studios, that's smart business in my opinion.
Well,
So like you have those studios, like if you wanted to move this to PC, I feel like you could have those studios help out.
Well, it would be, I'd say it'd be smart business, but like we've had like a 30% success rate on games coming out that are ports that aren't
Shit.
trash.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's typically unoptimized.
Yeah.
It's not ready for, it's not a good port for PC where like you can't even remap half the controls how you would typically want to or should be
Right.
available. And then typically the biggest problem is they're just trying to port over 1-to-1 and think, oh yeah, that's going to be a great idea, and then it comes out and it's like you get like 1,000 negative reviews that are just people complaining about the game not working properly.
Mhm.
And it's like that tends to be the way. That's the thing. It's like, especially with Sony games that come out like that. Like you said, it's like you have people who that are dedicated to doing this.
Yeah.
It's like you have people who should. This is what they should be working on.
Right.
It's like I don't know if it's just you're trying to give them a bunch of different games and just releasing them out of order of how they need to be done, or what. But
Yeah. Well, the next one is going to be Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut in May, so hopefully they don't screw that one up. That's going to be unfortunate because it's a great game.
That is a fantastic game.
That I know people who only have PC are probably very excited to play for the first time. So I hope that one doesn't get screwed up. No, talking about Spider-Man: The Great Web with that, they have they had a full concept trailer leaked, and it's not a half-ass trailer. Like it looks like a trailer you would see at Gamescom or Summer Game Fest, or like it's a full trailer that was it was in Insomniac's data files from all the leak that the hacking that happened. And man, it's one of those things. It's like, we know from just announcements, from reports, and everything, like, the writing's on the wall, right? That Sony really desperately wants like their multiplayer game. You know what I mean? They want it so damn bad. And it's just like, you have a really interesting concept that you could probably milk for a few years and you cancel it. And I understand it's the mindset similar to the Naughty Dog thing of if they make this, how much of Insomniac's team is going to be tied up to maintaining it, for years to come. Because then you have to really talk about, is Insomniac going to become a live service studio? So I understand like that concern, especially when you have,
That's why they got Bungie, isn't it?
Yeah, see, that was my thought too. It's like that's why Bungie's supposed to be the live service people, but Bungie's up in fire. If this next expansion for Destiny doesn't hit, Bungie's dead. Like Bungie as a company is not dead, but the people who are there are gone. Like, and Sony's taking over.
I was sitting over here, and as he's like, "Yeah, they really want their own multiplayer game." I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about like Xbox and PC and that, and I'm like, man, they should just make a MOBA game. And then I'm like, oh, they tried.
They did try.
They've tried, and
Which one was that? Was that Paragon?
That was Paragon.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Paragon, it was doing well. It just got shafted because Fortnite did way over the top.
Right.
Well,
Did Paragon make a comeback recently?
There's a game being made by Paragon developers called Predecessor, which until March 20th is currently 89 cents on
Shout
Steam.
Shout out.
In which that one's sort of funny. I mean, it's pretty much the Paragon assets and everything because Epic Games did let those Paragon assets out there into the world. But yeah, it's certain early access, and from what I've seen, it's on the fence.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's kind of how Paragon was anyway. It's like it was one of those games where it didn't gather the
Biggest community.
It didn't gather the community that it was hoped for. So it's kind of like a lot of these niche mobile games that come out kind of end up being where you have your small community that really likes it.
Yeah, yeah.
But like that was just in my head because I remember it being advertised like crazy when it was coming out.
Yeah, me too.
And then nothing happened.
Yeah, it just disappeared.
And it's just like they try to make their own like FPS game, like multiplayer games like that. They don't work. They try to make their own mobile game, doesn't work. At the end of the day, Sony, you're selling all your consoles because everybody loves your single player games.
True.
You make the best exclusive content that's out there.
That's true.
And people just buy all of the other great like multiplayer games that are multiplat.
Yep.
And they buy them on your console.
Yeah, like the Call of Duties.
Yeah. It's like just keep doing what you're doing. You don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They don't need it because like almost every single player game they come out with an absolute banger. But this is like I'm telling you, like with this concept, this is one of the few that I think could have been really solid for at least a few years of solid play. All being like the multiverse stuff. You already teased it in the damn game with the side quest. It's already in the damn game. You set everything up for it. I will say I would kind of question, I guess, the meat of the game because like the trailer, it's obviously a dead game that can't really find out more. But the trailer just kind of gave me the vibe of you and 4 other friends, 5 spider people total, basically battling the Sinister Six and other villains throughout the city. It gave me like a little almost like Avengers vibes to an extent. I don't know how much there would be in terms of like, is there even some form of a story to go through? Is it literally just like the villains, like, because like it was shown battling Doc Ock and Venom and stuff. It's like, is it literally just that, or is there something else to
Sounds
it?
like Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights is a great example too. But it's just like, how much is there to the game? I don't know, but it still would have been a fun game to play. Playing multiplayer Spider-Man with your friends. Spider-Man's a great game to play. It feels good. So I don't know. And I will throw this out there. I had this thought when I saw the trailer and I saw like unanimous, like, oh my God, this looks so good. I can't help but to think, are we going to potentially see like a Deadpool situation where Deadpool, was in the works, space got canceled, that leaked footage came out, the leaked in concept footage of Deadpool coming into the car, beating everyone up, making the car crash, and then basically got the movie re-greenlit. You know what I mean? I can't help but to think, is this going to have a similar effect where maybe like a year from now, we could see this game get greenlit once again because it's just unanimous, like, hey, this looks great. Why did you cancel this one? This looks awesome. So, I don't know. I mean, I thought it looked really good. I mean, it was a complete trailer. It was not a half-ass, like, CGI trailer or anything like the Deadpool one was, where it was clearly, like, in the works, and they was like, okay, we're not doing this. It was a finished trailer, and it looked sick. So, unfortunate on that one. I hope something else come out of it. But you know what? If it doesn't, that's fine because Spider-Man 3 is going to be great. Another Miles game is going to be great. A Venom game is going to be great. So, you know what? It's fine.
Mary Jane.
And going to do their thing. Hey, Mary Jane was a badass in Spider-Man 2.
Then give her a game.
She was a badass.
I was looking this up over here because I was trying to remember because you're talking like bunch of spider people going around a
Yep.
city fighting Sinister Six, and it was reminding me of a game that got canceled a while back. It was I think it was Marvel Heroes, and then it was braided like Marvel Heroes Unlimited or something like that.
That sounds familiar. That
It
sounds
was
familiar.
it was essentially an MMO that had an unbelievable amount of characters in it because it was all different or it's like they were pretty much just about any Marvel character you could come up with, and then they all had like skin variants for all the
Yep.
different ones.
Wait, was it like that DC mobile we played?
No. This was like an MMO where it was like a city.
yeah.
You would basically go to a city map,
Oh, okay.
and there would be boss fights and stuff that would spawn like every few minutes around the map, and then like there were events and stuff that happened everywhere.
That
it was
sounds boring as hell.
It was a what?
That sounds boring as hell.
Hey, it was a very simplistic game. I mean, this is a very simple explanation of it. The game also had dungeons, raids, all kinds of
Okay.
additional content as well.
Yeah.
I played the shit out of this game. It got canceled eventually. I think it got bought out by somebody who was supposed to go to console, and then they lost all their money through that process. It's a very fun game. At the end of the day, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was a great game where you could like hop in for an hour and play, especially if you had like leveled your characters or had max characters and stuff. You could just hop in, have some fun for an hour or two, and go about your day. And just through playing the game, you could slowly unlock the ability to unlock everyone if you wanted to. It's really fun, but canceled. But you described that, brought that memory back up for me.
Kind of give similar vibe, sort of thing. Yeah, I feel you. No, I mean, unfortunate that got canceled, but like I said, at the same time, Insomniac's still going to cook. Wolverine looked great from the leak stuff. Venom is going to probably be pretty sweet. They have an X-Men game apparently in the works. Insomniac's going to cook, so it's all good. You want to know who else is cooking? Do you want to know who else is cooking, Zach?
The Rock in the WWE showcase.
Yes. Did you guys see the concert from last night?
I tuned in. I tuned in after the okay, here's the thing. I was going to talk to you about this.
I don't watch wrestling, so
I
no.
tuned in like halfway through the show, and like the first match was finishing, which I
Okay.
thought was wild.
Yeah. No, The Rock had one of his heel concerts that he's done in the past. So he did this a long time ago when he was Hollywood Rock. He'd come in the middle of the ring with a guitar or whatever and basically have a little concert roasting whoever. He did another one of those last night.
From everything I've heard, the concert people were kind of like, they were kind of whatever on, like it was okay in that, but the promo afterwards was fucking wild.
Yeah. Also, shout out to his Hollywood Rock theme song coming back too. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. So yes, The Rock is cooking, but you know who else is cooking? The other set of individuals that are cooking are the individuals over at Rogue Energy that my button is not working for. So that's unfortunate. Oh, I know why it's not working. It's not working because it's set for another thing. Rogue Energy, you can use promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. Use the referral link below to support us. But if you don't want to use our promo code, that's fine because they do have the BOGO50 promo code to get 50% off shakers for St. Patty's Day. So go pick up a couple shakers, some Rogue Hydration, the new line of chill to help you relax and reduce anxiety after a long day, as well as some classic Rogue Energy. The Rocket Pop is delicious. Then you can also pick up some cans because the Black Cherry Lemonade is one of the best can energy drinks that I have ever had in my entire life. So definitely recommend it. Again, you don't have to use our promo code Sparky3. Use BOGO50 and get an extra shaker for 50% off. But at least use our referral link, and we'd appreciate that extra support. All right, let's go back over here. All right, so going from there, just kind of what we've been up to. You know, we're nearing the end of the show here. We're about like an hour in, so just kind of what we've been up to. Having a good time.
Can you see that?
Let's see what we got going on.
Is that The Rock from last night?
It is The Rock.
Well, no, that's the number of 2024 appearances.
I am so
That just popped up for me, and I thought you would
Roman to get rid of
appreciate that.
I love Roman, but I want that belt off of him so bad.
I get the picture of The Rock on the top and Roman Reigns underneath, and it's number of appearances so far in 2024.
Yep.
Roman has 5 and The Rock has 6.
I am so ready.
It's so wild.
Dude, like I am so ready for him to no longer have the belt. Like, oh god, it's ridiculous. But no, wrestling is in a great spot right now. You know, shout out to a potential new show coming soon. I was working on the logo today.
Just give the belt to Sammy.
Sammy's competing.
People aren't. Yeah. Do you see the reports that he's not happy about the response that, or he's upset with the negative response from the internet?
I did not see that. No.
He always is like one spectrum or the other.
Yeah.
Well, people. It's not that people are upset. Okay.
Excuse us a moment. This is gonna be a wrestling show for a moment.
Shout out to future Sparky 3 podcast, a terrible wrestling show coming soon, hopefully.
It's no, it's not that people are upset that he's going to WrestleMania. It's that everybody wanted Chad.
I know everyone wanted.
Everybody
Chad
wanted
Gable.
Chad, so he's seeing either like it's not negative towards him. It's just not positive.
Right.
So it's been apparently like he wasn't.
What, like
expecting
Chad
it.
Gable?
Yeah, Chad Gable.
Okay.
Yeah. At this point, just pull a Daniel Bryan thing and put Chad Gable in with a triple threat, and then have Chad Gable win it. Just do that at this point.
I didn't realize Chad Gable was getting a push. Okay.
Well, they're reheating a push from like 7 months ago.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
exactly. No, and Chad Gable had like a phenomenal, like I think it was like obviously at least one, but I think a couple sets of matches with Gunther earlier this year, and like it was great matches where they made it look like Gunther like almost lost. So it was solid. Like Chad, people are starting to come around like, oh shit, Chad's actually a really good wrestler. Like he's really good in the ring.
Yeah, I don't know what's taking people so long to figure that out.
Yeah, like he's such a good performer. You know what I mean? So, and he's done great character work. I mean, that whole
I
team.
think that's the thing that's always overshadowed. I always thought his characters were good.
Yeah.
And he even keeps it when he's even wrestling.
Yeah, no, I mean he's been a great character worker. So at this point, just make that a triple threat: Sami Zayn, Gunther, and Chad Gable at WrestleMania.
I've seen that. I honestly think people might be a little down on it because how many times are you gonna? Because it's like, I don't want Gunther to be the triple threat at WrestleMania guy.
It's WrestleMania, man. We have so many superstars. You got to fit them all in somehow. LA Knight wasn't even on the card last year.
I know.
You got to fit him in somehow.
Well, yeah, now he's gonna be there against AJ.
Yeah, I know. The one-on-one. I'm excited for the LA Knight AJ Styles, but I really wish there was something else to it. I don't want it to just be a singles match. You know what I mean? Let's add a stipulation to it. You know, let's make it a different kind of match type. I don't know what. Let's make it a little spicy.
Soccer match?
Huh?
Bring in special referee Mankind?
Hey, he has talked about another match.
God.
That psychopath needs to stop. He can
Mick
barely
Foley's
walk.
going to break his last
He
spine.
can barely walk. He needs to stop.
Okay, I got it.
All right.
Well, I'll bring this back around real quick.
Yeah, bring it back around to
Okay,
WWE 2K24.
We've had our big wrestling tangent here. Zach, as the person who spent the most time in WWE 2K24 so far, how you liking my GM mode?
I mean,
And have you even tried anything else?
I have tried some other stuff.
Oh, okay.
So literally all I've done is GM mode and then my faction, which they did some changes to my faction. Was specifically with the starting setup and then like faction wars. They've made it into a roguelite instead of just what was go smash your 4 people versus another 4 people. Which it's sort of interesting, but not much change there. But mostly my GM mode. I'm on season 3 of my current game. I mean, I've been enjoying the changes. One thing I did notice, especially that I'm real happy about, is the drafting. Drafting in between seasons. Actually, the draft roster changes a bit.
That's good.
Some people from the initial roster disappear or get maintained by the other shows, and they fill those spaces up with other people who were just free agents throughout the original season and bring them into just the initial draft. Things like that.
Random question.
So-
It's probably not. Is there any like keeper rules in this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
More or less based on however you rank at the end of the season determines how many keeper spots you can for your current contracted roster.
Okay.
Of course, you got to pay out whatever you're going to pay out for them.
Right.
So your initial draft money could be lower than you might want it, but
Okay. So is it like the same number of keepers like it was last year? Because last year was
I
only like
believe-
what, 4, I think, or something like that.
no, it's more.
Okay.
It's only 4 if you're placed first at the end of the season.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because like I consistently end up being third in my season, so I'm able to keep like 6.
I feel that on the placing.
Yeah.
I am not a good GM, but I have fun.
I mean, I make money. I just can't accrue fans quickly.
Yeah, I can accrue fans every 4 weeks.
He puts on a great PLE, and that's it.
Well, that's the thing, because it's now 5 weeks set, and it's 25 weeks in a season, so you actually got 5 pay-per-views in this one, because you only had 4 in 23, right?
I don't remember. I thought it was this. I thought it was the same number. Could be wrong.
It may, because it was Backlash, Survivor,
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell, and then WrestleMania.
I don't. Yeah, it's been a while since I did anything on 23.
Because this one is Backlash, Survivor, Fastlane. I want to say Extreme Rules, and then WrestleMania. Not specifically in that order. Yeah, like the roster change, they added star whatever to each people, which allows you to build the talents in a way. Because as you raise their ring experience, they gain stars, and every 5 they get a new trait, and this carries over throughout the entire game. So if you lose somebody, that there's perks and whatnot stay with them. So if you manage to contract them later as a free agent, or if some characters by the AI brands have been pushed hard to raise their star level and you manage to pick them up, you gain all those perks.
Yeah, which is a nice little addition, because it doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter if you've been using them, as long as the AI has been using them.
Yes.
And they've like at least been used in matches, then they will be getting leveled up some.
Yes.
Which makes it long term. At least most of the choice, like most of the superstars, should have been leveled up, so you can kind of
at least a little bit.
Yeah, you can at least pick someone, and you're not picking up someone who's no experience. It's going to take a while to actually get a push going.
And that's especially helpful with the free talents, the created character wrestlers that are just in the system, because you can see which ones of them get experience and whatnot. The other main thing they changed is the scouting with recruiting, because in the 23 it was just you picked it and there's just a big long list of random drawn people.
And you couldn't do anything about it. It's like what you got for the week was what you had.
Yeah. And this one they have scout points you got to use, but you can determine the fields of what you want them to specifically look at, like what's a ring experience you want them to have, from rookie, icon, amateur, legend. There's more or less 5 altogether, because it goes from 0 to 25.
Yeah. It's basically, you can search for you get 5 talent points per week to search with, but there's cards that you can get more.
To increase it, yes.
But you have a base of 5 to work with, and each time you make each thing you search for adds 1 to it. So it's like if you're searching for like an amateur person, if you bump it up like 2 levels, so that you get you're searching for like level 10 people, that'll take 2 points to bump it up to there. And then if you want to search for
a rule breaker who's also a specialist and female,
then that would take your other 3 points. Because if you choose to search whether they're a rule breaker or a face, that's gonna be one option.
Yes. Searching
for what their type is, like fighter, bruiser, specialist, cruiser, all that. That'll take you 1, and then it's like you start to be able to really spend them when you start searching for the higher quality people. But then there are times where you search for people and it'll just come back and go, no.
Yeah.
We didn't find anybody for you.
There's nobody around here. Here's your money back. And the other thing with it, like with the perk system as well, which is really nice, especially if you're trying to run a very small roster, is once they get their 4th perk, they can switch their class. They get a secondary class they can switch to. So like Charlotte Flair for me, she's currently for some reason a giant, but I have her second class as a bruiser, so I can switch her into a bruiser whenever I want to, which takes a promo slot and it's like 10K to do. But
Yeah.
if you need to suddenly change up your roster to be able to get a decent fight going,
Right.
rivalry, hey, now you're not stuck to whatever their class is from start, like the season to the end.
That's
Yeah,
good. I like that.
Because I think for me, I have Sami Zayn. I think it is, and I think he's a cruiser, but he can be a specialist.
Yeah.
And then there's a few people like that.
Mhm.
It's also like the match specialties just being like a level. Was it like a level 5 or 10 unlock? think
They're all tied to the different things. Like, so you can either do default where you automatically have all, or no.
Well, no, I mean like the match specialties for each person.
Oh, right.
Because like
So yeah, it's perk 2 and then perk 5. You can unlock another one.
yeah, so like at perk 2, which would be like level 10 for the people, they unlock a specialty type match.
More or less, they give a performance bonus to the match quality if they perform in that.
Yeah, which is, I like that each person, and that these are random, like
Yeah,
it's
RNG.
randomly chosen, like when the superstar is generated, of which one they get.
Because I got our truth specialty coffin matches.
So I haven't,
Shout out to our truth, man.
yeah, because I think my
Live, laugh, love.
I think both of my mid card men,
Mm-hmm.
but they both have steel cage.
Fuck.
So it's like when I have a title match going on there.
Throw him in the cage.
Believe me, I got a big bonus coming.
See, I was really lucky with mine because I have had during season 2 my women's tag team, and then their rival. I didn't even realize it. They all had tables as their specialty.
Well, that's nice.
So I had 4 people with table specialty and a title championship tag match. Those matches were always 4 stars or more.
Yeah.
If I had a pay-per-view, I was like, that was my opener every time.
Right. Great opening act right there, man.
Yeah. No, say for me,
God, I can't wait till the Dudleys are in the game.
I think my
Shout out to that too.
I think my first PLE I did, like, didn't really have a build to it or anything.
Yeah.
Just kind of put some matches on. First PLE, main event, 5 stars.
Yay.
It's like I just had got a great pairing.
See,
Yeah.
I had a really good one. I finished my second season, the WrestleMania pay-per-view. It was 5, 4, 4.5, 4, 5.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you guys: when Post Malone comes to the game, what are you gonna make him?
I don't know. It depends on what he rolls.
The fact that he's in the game is awesome.
I mean, we had
You know what I'm gonna make him?
What are you gonna make him?
World champion.
There you go. Let's go.
I'm gonna be honest. Bad Bunny was in 23. He was actually really good.
Yeah.
I have learned. I don't know why. It's like because I simulate most of my matches
Yes.
and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I really love having my world championship be between a cruiser and a giant.
That's fair.
It's like there's no need to. I just like the match dynamic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fun one. One of the other big changes is after pay-per-views is everyone can make trades. So all brands get 7 trade attempts where you can trade for wrestlers, trade for money,
Ooh.
and
I was very confused by this the first time it
Yes.
came up
I
because
like this. This
I
sounds cool.
accidentally skipped through the tooltip.
gotcha.
Oh, no.
So more or less, it's a fairly simple system. Is if you want to trade someone, you choose someone from your roster, and it actually tells you what their trade value is based on their experience and everything, yada yada yada. And then you can go through one of the other brands' rosters and select stuff if you want to give extra money to make the trade more profitable or whatnot for you, or ask for money because you're doing a shitty trade for yourself and things like that. And it's funny because even in the tooltip is like, if you're playing with people, you can just talk amongst yourselves and decide what you're going to do. But if you're AI, you got to set it up, and the AI might send you a counter offer, or they might just outright reject it. And you only get 7 attempts to do trades. After the 7th one, it cuts you off and then does the AIs. And the AI can make a trade towards you. And unfortunately, you can't do a counter offer for them. It's either accept or deny. The AIs are shitbags because they constantly want to trade me their contracted people who only have like 2 or 1 weeks left. I'm just like, the fuck's wrong with you? Specifically, Paul Heyman. Fuck that AI. He tried to trade me Hurricane and freaking Holly Molly, who each only had 1 week left for my world champion. I was like, what's wrong with you?
He sound, you know what? Who he sounds like? He sounds like Tyler in any of our fantasy drafts, where he'll send you the worst trade in the world. Where it's like, why the hell would I accept this? Where he's trying to get like 4 of your starting players, and he's sending you a dude off his bench. And he does it just to see if you're paying attention to the app. That's it. But that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like Paul Heyman as Tyler.
See, meanwhile, like he's talking that. Meanwhile, I've had the opposite experience where I've only done a few events where it was like the option to trade afterwards. Meanwhile, I'm the one sitting there going, "Here, I'll give you my jobber and a little bit of money for your world champion."
Yeah, yes, this is Tyler. These are Tyler trades.
And you know what? I got a new world champion.
I bet.
But yeah, no, it's like I was kind of like, I mean, because the current save I had on there,
Yeah.
it was just like I told you guys before. I fucked up my draft a few times. I kind of just picked some stuff to get one going so that I could play it. It's not
the jump in.
It's not the run I actually want to go with. But I'm just having some fun with it.
Right.
I mean, overall, the changes that they have done, I've enjoyed, especially like there is a couple new promos you can do, like the class change and then the tag team callouts.
The tag team callout's a big one.
Yes, that one's a big one because it allows you to push the tag team rivalries quicker if you need to and more efficiently.
Yeah.
Because that irritated me so much in 23.
The only thing about it is whichever tag team you're having calling out, it takes up both of them.
Oh,
so
for the week?
Yeah, so
okay.
you lose.
That's still fine.
You lose 2 people out of it, but I mean,
It's like you actually get to advance it a little bit instead of just being like, I guess I'm gonna put them in another match and hope it goes up.
I hope it gets increased.
The interesting thing is whenever you do a tag team call out, it takes the mic skills of all 4 people associated with. I don't know really how that affects it. But it is interesting to see.
Right. I'm looking forward to picking it up. And whenever I pick it up, I'm totally down with you guys to do like a collab My GM video series where we're all the GM together on a team trying to battle it out against these hard ass computers. I'm down to do this.
Versus, I would be more down for just us.
I was gonna say, can you do like
I think
My GM online?
I think I
don't think so.
You can't? I thought you could.
Not from what I've seen, but maybe you can. I'll have to double check.
I don't know. Because I'm down for either. I'm down for us to compete and me come in last place, or I'm down for us to be on a team and me hopefully not come in last place because you two will carry me. I don't care.
Hey, I can I could put on a premium live event. I can't put on weekly shows.
I have nothing special to bring to the table. I'm just gonna be pressing the buttons.
I mean, I more or less just set up rivalries and keep my weekly shows going. My only thing that I wish they had done a bit more with is the GM and your roster's interactions through like the opening messages each week.
Oh yeah,
because those events haven't changed at all from 23. They're pretty much all the same still.
That's unfortunate.
So there's not much change there besides the occasional, which pretty sure was in 23 too. But if one of the other brands wrestlers is pissed off at them, they'll message you like, "Hey, pay me this much. I'll be there next week."
Right.
There is one change to it though that really helps is with your contracted people who have only so many weeks. Whenever their week comes up, instead of just being, "Hey, pay this amount, lowball me," or contract renewal if you have one of those, it actually gives you options of being like, first bid's good and we'll keep you for another 5 weeks. Hey, let's extend it for 10 weeks or just full payout. Stay till the end of the season. Which is really nice and much more flexible. Same with actually recruiting, where if you find a superstar you want to recruit, you do not set to the base 5 weeks. You can change it based on your budget. You can up it to 12 weeks or maybe only bring them on for 2 weeks instead of just being set at the base 5, which is really nice for
really
recruiting in new talents.
Really convenient that you can do that.
And budgeting.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't know if it's just me, but man, like when people when your superstars are like messaging you and are like, "Hey, I got screwed out of that. I really want that next match." I don't know if it's just me, but it seemed like I was like I wanted it to skip along to, "Hey, here's your options here." Sometimes I hit that button and it just selects whatever the top option in the box would have been, which is, by the way, always the one that's gonna make them mad.
It's always the worst one.
It's
gonna
always
piss
the
them
worst
off.
one. It's like there's no skip option. So I'm like, okay, yeah, there's move the text forward and I'll tell you yes. Oh, okay, now you're mad at me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the match on anyway, but now you're just mad for no
Yeah,
reason.
they have the no option as the first choice for some reason. I don't understand that.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, hurry this along. I want to go set up my matches or unlock something for the week or go look at the store or something. And it's like, okay, well now you're mad, and I'm gonna put the match on anyway because that's what my plan was already.
Yeah,
but
and I
now
just
your
have to-
morale is just 2 points lower.
And now I don't
Yeah.
get any benefit from it.
But yeah, no, I've enjoyed what I've played so far. It's fun. I've messed with a couple of the other modes. Have you messed with like the WrestleMania moments or anything?
I have not touched Showcase.
I think that's the only way Brock Lesnar's in the game, isn't it?
Probably.
I think that's the only way he's in the game right now.
I know he's not in GM mode and part of any of the rosters.
No, he was removed from the him and Vince both. Also, shout out to Tyler. Tyler popped into chat. He said, "Appreciate the shout out, fella, but let's be honest, Hurricane for Gunther type trade is actually beneficial for you. You don't need Gunther to run through your entire roster when you can have Hurricane."
I
mean, I would have picked up Hurricane if he didn't have 1 week left.
I do need Gunther on my roster.
See, I don't even think Gunther's appeared in my game on anybody's roster.
Yeah, he's my world champion.
He barely appeared for me on 23.
Yeah, he was my first draft.
Nice.
All I know is I eventually got Big E, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say like the showcase, the WrestleMania moments and that. Okay, granted, it might be fun. I hate the introduction that they have to it because it's playing the first. Okay, the other problem is I don't know how to play the normal WWE 2K game.
I just sim everything.
I play my GM mode and I sim my matches.
I play Armchair Manager.
I have not.
I mean, look,
I haven't played a match in WWE in years.
Okay,
and you have to actually play those matches.
Listen, I can't fault you on that because when I started doing my GM mode for 2K23, there was some talent I picked up. It was a local talent, right? But I was just like, I wanted to try to hang on to him and build him up kind of thing, right? Like, let's do it. Let's have a fun time. So because of that, I had to go in and play the match to make sure they won. And I'm just like, how the hell do I play this game?
I'm be
a learning
honest,
curve.
some of the local talents are very entertaining because I did pick up one just because I needed a extra body for an event.
Yeah.
And I just threw him in as a throwaway and a triple threat for the North American title. Walked away the pay-per-view with the title, went, what the fuck?
Right.
See, I did this. That happened with my tag team champs because I was like, I wanted to rest the challengers because like they were like low stamina. I was like, okay, I'll just my champs have good stamina. I'm just gonna throw them into a match. Might as well make it a title match opener just for like the bonus. And that, and then like my jobbers won, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
The jobber won.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well, now my former tag team champions have a level 2 rivalry built with
Jobbers.
the other team. Well, no, it's not. Not even with the jobbers, with the people I was building them for.
And they lost their titles.
And now my jobbers are the tag team champions. And I'm just sitting here. I'm like, man, this really fucked up my plans.
That's great.
Time to recruit some more jobbers to set up a new rivalry.
That's
like
awesome.
It's like, man, I'm paying you guys like $300K for like 10 weeks over here, and these guys are getting paid like $5K for like 6 weeks, and they're my champions now.
That's awesome.
Fuck that contract renewal. Which I've also noticed as you raise the superstars like ring experience, they do up their price in their contract renewals. I'd noticed that.
Yeah.
That's a nice little touch. Sort of shit on trying to keep my budget, but it's a nice touch.
Yeah, it makes sense. It does. No, I'm looking forward to picking it up. My GM mode is literally the best thing.
GM
that
mode's still the best thing.
Yeah, it's the best thing to come to these games.
I will say with this game, I'm trying to experiment more with the other modes.
Right.
I will say I opened up like like my universe.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do in that yet. I, like, opened it up and like started looking at it. I was like,
It depends on whether you do the traditional universe and you actually want to control the entire thing, or if you want to do the newer one they added in 23 where you just choose a superstar and control their career.
yeah, because it's like I'm looking at starting to mess with that too. I kind of
I want to dive into universe
for this
personally.
game, I want to dive into a little bit more of it. Like I was looking at was it like the Rise?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at that a little bit, and then like I said, I tried to play it through the showcase mode. Man, playing the game and playing my GM mode are two different things.
They are
very much
vastly different things.
I was woefully unprepared.
Yeah.
Have you tried GM mode when you have the weekly card at 5 matches and then like the pay-per-views at like 7?
What do you mean?
Like you talking about in the settings when you set everything
Yeah.
up?
Oh no, I
haven't,
did. I had 4. It's like 4 and was it 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just play like that.
Yeah, that's default.
Yeah, I was just playing default.
That's hard mode, I guess I should say. Is hard mode ups your how many matches you have to put on for.
Yeah, I could see why that would be a lot harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, how do you feel about, like, did you play with the new default way of unlocking matches by
Yes.
having to? How do you like that?
I'm enjoying it just because I like being able not having to constantly rebuy the arenas and everything like that, and also it sort of helps for more focus on what I want to go for,
Basically, that is like,
and keeps me from wringing out my talents with the special match types you have to unlock.
Yeah.
Because most of those are much more stamina consuming.
basically how the previous game, like, you just basically had all your match types unlocked and available to use whenever. The default now is, as you upgrade your logistics options, it unlocks different match types. So like you start with like normal matches, then you unlock like steel cage, tornado tag, and stuff like that. And
Like one of the ones, the second level special effects, you get Greater Pyro. It unlocks Hell in a Cell.
yeah, so it's like as you, and you can only level it up so much like each week, right?
No. So what it's based on is more or less everything to level it up takes assets and money. Every week you gain a single asset, and then more or less it just goes up. So for like level 2 takes 2 assets and like $10,000. Arenas just double whatever the others ones are. So it just goes up. So next level's 3 assets, 20, and goes on and so forth. And as you build it, and you just constantly build assets up throughout playing, and it doesn't reset at all. So like currently I have like 17 assets, but I don't have the money to constantly buy shit.
Speaking of buy shit, Tyler was wanting to know, is 2K worth it or should he wait for the first sale?
I mean, unless you just have an itch to play wrestling or my GM mode, so
Yeah, I mean, this is, I'm kind of the same opinion. Unless you really just, you're itching a wrestling game, or like you really want to play the updated My GM mode, it's kind of,
Wait for
gonna
the
be
sale.
playing a wrestling game.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just specifically wanted it for my GM mode, so
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason I want it.
But-
I do want to get back into Universe because when I used to play the games back in the day, I loved my Universe mode. That was my thing. So I do want to get back in there, but
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I really wanted to play My GM mode. I wanted to try some of the other modes and that.
the only other thing I say with it is if you don't have any of the DLC for 23, I mean, pick up 24 since all the DLC 23 is just default roster in the next game.
yeah. When's the first DLC for this one come out?
No clue.
Okay.
I just know I saw Matt.
They put dates out.
I just
They-
know Pat
just can't
McAfee is
remember
one of the DLC, and Dudley Brothers is another one.
it. I love that. CM Punk's gonna be one of the first ones too.
Yeah, he's on the cover of the season pass thing.
Yeah, I know he's on there. I think Kairi Sane is in there.
Yeah. Is she
Post-
back with WWE?
She's tag team champion.
Again, I don't watch it currently.
Okay. Yeah, she's.
I
Tag team
I just remember she was really good when I last watched, but that was before COVID, and she went back to Japan during COVID.
Yeah, no, she's part of the Kabuki Warriors with Asuka. So
Again?
she's part of Damage Control.
I was gonna say,
Hey, Asuka and Kairi Sane were fun matches to watch.
Yeah.
was gonna say, to be fair to him asking if she's with WWE, she's there, but they're doing nothing for those belts right now.
No, they're not. No,
Not through their fault, any fault of their own. There's just that division's not getting pushed anyway.
No.
Women's tag.
Yeah, women's tag. It's
That
not.
sucks. I mean,
they
even-
finally started to push men's tag here recently and make Damian and Finn not look like a couple doofuses and making them look legit. They're actually winning matches like solo and tag matches. Because it's like they just have the belts to have the belts.
Think of where the belts were at this point last year,
I know.
and
was
where
just
they
all-
are now.
It was just all with Bloodline, wasn't
It
it?
was all Bloodline, and then it was leading up to Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, which was a phenomenal main event.
Last
KO and Sami Zayn again.
Yeah, last year it was awesome.
there was about a 5-month window where the tag team men's belts were like one of the most prestigious things in the company,
Yep.
and then they've just kind of been there.
Yeah, now they're just there. It makes
All,
me
all
mad.
I know currently with wrestling is just R-Truth is playing around with the fucking Reckoning. Is that what Dirty Dom's faction is?
No, it's Judgment Day.
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Awesome Truth's gonna win the tag belts at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's so. Hey,
Wait, the Truth is partnered with Miz?
once again, baby, it's first
No.
time in like 11 years. Let's go.
Now, realistically, they probably won't win the belts at WrestleMania because there is currently a tag tournament going on for
Yeah.
the
I
spot
mean-
for it. But after WrestleMania,
Look,
they'll
there's
win
gonna
it.
be
Any
5
pu-
other tag teams. in
Any
there. Come
push
on.
with R-Truth is amazing. I don't care
Dude,
what
the
it
Judgment
is.
Day stuff's been unbelievable.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
So good.
I've been seeing all the clips with R-Truth with Judgment Day.
So good. Have you seen? Okay, so have you seen This has like been a TikTok trend, and Judgment Day did it, and WWE's done it a few times. Where it's just like, of course I'm this. Of course I do this. Have you seen those?
I don't think so.
So Judgment Day we did one where it's like, I'm in the Judgment Day. Of course I do this. I'm in the Judgment Day. Of course I go a little heavy on the eyeliner and stuff like that. While they're going through that, you keep seeing R-Truth pop up. He's like, I'm in the judge, and it just cuts off and goes to the next character. They do it like 3 times in the video where it's like, I'm in the judge cut. And it finally comes to JD. He's just like, I'm in the Judgment Day, and Truth comes up. He's like, are you though? And JD like points out and walks away, and R-Truth is like, I'm in the Judgment Day. Of course, we live, laugh, and love. I love R-Truth.
I'm so
He's
glad
amazing.
R-Truth enjoys what he does, and he doesn't feel the need to get pushed too hard.
I love R-Truth, man.
Oh, he's about they about to get the push of a lifetime.
Oh, I know. Did you see the Australia thing that he did for R-Truth? Oh, dude, it was so funny. He put
Maybe not.
He put up a video on social media leading up to the Elimination Chamber, obviously in Australia, and it's just a video. Of him.
Disclaimer: wrestling show again.
I know. Sorry. Well, we've been on a wrestling related topic for like 30 minutes. Anyway, where he had, he's just like still on the plane, like, yo, where's everybody at? I don't see anybody. I'm over here in Austria, but I don't see anyone.
God, he's been so good. Like
I love R-Truth, man. He's awesome.
R-Truth promos are top tier every time.
Yeah, it's always been that, man. Shout to the time with Little Jimmy. I mean,
Yes,
shout out to
Little Jimmy.
I love R-Truth, man. He's always been great.
he's been so good lately. Like
Yeah.
he was one of the he was one of the best parts of the Royal Rumble this
Yeah.
past.
Oh my god, I know. Oh, did you guys know he almost lost his leg?
What?
Yeah, like he said that in like in a recent interview or something. That he, one reason why he was out for so long, whenever CM Punk came back, Triple H made the joke. He's just like, I know, huge return. R-Truth's back. Whenever he was gone for so long, he got like really bad sick and stuff, horrible infection or something. He almost lost his leg.
Oh, that would have been awful.
It was almost like an Alex Smith situation in the NFL, where Alex Smith almost had to get his leg amputated.
Oof.
Like, it's just like, man, I'm glad his leg didn't have to come
That
off.
would have been awful.
That'd have been the worst.
We
way
would have
for
lost a
R-Truth.
WWE treasure.
I know, man. That'd have been the worst.
The day
dude.
R-Truth retires is going to be a sad day.
Dude's like 50-something years. He's like 50, I think.
Yeah, he's almost 60, I think.
Like, dude's up there, man. R-Truth's a beast. I love R-Truth.
It's great seeing anything as WWE if you compare it with his was it ECW he was with? He was with another promotion before he came back to WWE.
I know he was with TNA for a little bit.
TNA is what I'm
I
thinking
know
of.
he was with TNA at
And
one point.
he had a very serious run during TNA where
Yeah,
he was
he did.
he was part of like a ruling faction on TNA.
Yeah, true. Anyway, we should probably get back to games. WWE 2K24, though. My GM mode, a lot of fun, apparently. I'm looking forward to playing it. I guess just touch on it just real quick. I don't know how much you've played of Unicorn, but what's your still thoughts on it? Are
I
you
mean, I've
enjoying
been enjoying it. I'm still within the first zone, which is sort of the opening zone, where
Right.
your starting quest to go save the priestess that got kidnapped.
Yeah, Scarlet.
Yeah, Scarlet. And more or less, I've just been running around, opening up everything I can gain access to, and getting
Yep.
all my starting people.
Man, you get a roster quick.
Oh yes, you do.
Oh my God, you just meet people left and right where it's like, I will join you. It's like, okay, I don't know who you are.
Oh, I got 7 units running, all with 3 stacks.
Yeah, I think I've got 8 or 9 with like 3 stacks as well. Like, dude, you get units after units.
You
man.
expanded quicker than I did. But then
Yeah.
again, I'm not recruiting from the forts too much.
Okay, yeah.
I'm only recruiting from the forts what I absolutely need to. But all I'm seeing from this, because I'm not expanding too quickly, because in my head, as I'm trying to raise that renown, I'm just thinking my team synergies. Because I already have in my head several, like I have a kill squad, I got a defense squad,
Yeah.
and everything. Have you unlocked a witch yet?
Yeah. I've gotten, I think 2 or 3, but it's based off story stuff.
I'm confused by witches. Why do they got to shake their hips the entire time?
I know, man. I wondered. I was just like, they are really going hard with these animations.
Like, there's no reason the witch has to do that. But,
Yeah. No, so the point of the game that I'm at for Unicorn Overlord is I'm at the point where you got to basically choose your own path. Where it's either you go down to the region at the bottom, like Elfin, whatever.
The elf lands.
Yeah, for the Unicorn Ring, or you go save your cousin, Princess Virginia. So I tried going to.
Oh, I haven't even gotten that far, so you're further than me.
Yeah, so I tried going down for the ring, right? I tried doing that one first. I was just like, fuck it, we'll just go down there. Underleveled for it.
Of course.
Underleveled for it. So I was just like, all right, let me try the other way.
What
okay.
level are you?
So besides, Joseph, because he's obviously overleveled as shit.
Yeah.
Most of my units, I think I have one that's staggering behind a little bit. They're sitting at like 8 and 9, but most of them are double digits.
Okay.
But like that, that area is like average, like 15 to 18. So it's like the only one that can really do anything is my unit with Joseph in it. So I was like, all right, I'll come back to this. I need to level up because I cannot win a single fight in the overworld. Because with the overworld fights, you need to kill them or you're that's it.
Yeah.
You can't chip them down or anything like you can in like a skirmish or a mock battle. So I ditched that. I went over to the other area, which is more the level speed of where I'm at. So I went to basically save my cousin. And kind of recruit them, and now I'm doing stuff with them at the moment.
Gotcha.
So I'll go back down to the ring at some point, but I'm just kind of grinding right now. I'm just going around completing a bunch of random fights and shit that I see all around the world, just trying to level up my stragglers is what I'm trying to do.
You're a bit ahead of me because all I did was I opened up all the battles I could without Joseph saying, "Hey, stop, you're gonna die, idiot."
Yeah, right.
And so I'm just cruising through all the liberation fights right now in that initial zone.
I really appreciate the life of all the characters, and because there's so many. Obviously, the game was advertised as like you'll meet like over 100 plus characters that are all unique, and I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate just the overall life of the game itself and the characters. And while you're in this very obviously dark period of this game's story, there's still like comedic elements and there's still life and like light in some capacity. Like so, there was one guy that we fought who was a very large, big man.
Gustav?
Maybe? I don't know. I just did this recently, and I know you said I'm ahead of you, so I don't know.
I also think you played more of the demo than I did. I literally did 2 battles in the demo.
So I got as far as the demo would let me go.
So yeah, you went further. You used the full 6 hours.
But there was some real big guy. We beat him. We're at the little cutscene for it, and he just takes off. He runs to an extreme speed and abandoned ship retreats. And Alan just kind of like puts his hand over his chin. He's like, he runs a lot quicker than I thought he would for a man of that size. And it's just little stuff like that.
There is nice little moments like that.
I love that shit.
Because like there's the one battle where I forget, I said Gustav because there's a guy who's literally hoarding food and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like and it's a very interesting thing to see because like you have like the one side of the battlefield because it's one of like the first larger battles where he's taking all their food and they're starving, and if you have Clive or the new guy you get on that mission, talk to him, they join you as a free force. When you get to the other side of the map, you try and do it again and they're just like, no, he's been helping us, he's been keeping us fed and whatnot, and just seeing the little bit of extra story you get there just from those interactions and then just his final scene of him just going, "I never wanted to starve. I had to fight being hungry and everything," and just and that small little interaction. So you get like those extra story elements, even in like the small moments for characters who we see literally in that just opening and ending of that battle.
Right, exactly. And then, just as you go as well, you can continue to get all the different like paralog stuff as well. If, you have units that are in the same, squad together. They
who actually have talking moments.
Yeah, they actually just get. It's really interesting looking at that map where it's just because it shows you the map of like where they go for the moment of their talking. I'm just like, God, you are running all of. We are busy fighting a war. How did you have time to go over there? Like, it's just like, when did you go over there? Like, I don't know. I thought that was pretty entertaining looking at the map. But no, I'm really enjoying the game. I love it a lot. I love the art style. I love the overworld elements. I love all the recruitment. I love the choices where you can just like, nah, I'm gonna kill this guy. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and recruit him. Stuff like that. I love the choices behind it.
I'm almost curious how the story. Are you recruiting most people? Or
I'm recruiting everyone.
So I'm almost curious because I mentioned this to you, text of replayability. I'm almost curious if the story changes a bit if you do start executing people.
See, I'm wondering the same thing too, because like the one that like you could execute that guy at the beginning in the demo, or you can put him in prison, whatever, for the town to decide for him. There's another member, I forgot his name, but he's like a big old dude with a hammer, big old guy with a hammer.
Yeah, I just recruited him.
Yeah, you could choose to execute him too, or recruit him. So it's just stuff like that. Yeah, I'm very curious in the replayability for it.
Which, if you execute him, wonder what the hell you do, because he's also the one who rebuilds the bridge for you.
Yeah, I know. So I was just like, is there someone else that kind of rebuilds the bridge? Because see,
there is another character that uses the hammer of warrior type, but I don't know if they build.
Because like, see, choices like that. I'm sorry, John. I know you bitched at me before that I always find a way to rope this into a show. But I see choices like that, and the first thing I think of is stuff like Mass Effect, where
who could have guessed?
You're in Mass Effect 2, right? And it's like depending on like who lives or dies with the suicide mission, who takes their place in 3. Like if Morden dies, who cures the genophage? I mean, I know who it is, but that's the kind of questions that pop in my head with this. It's like, all right, if we kill him, who's building the bridge? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? So it's the same sort of elements that I think about. So I really enjoy it, but I've also gone back to Persona 3 so I can finish it and get it off my radar because I am in January. So I'm almost done. So I'm currently trying to get through that.
The funniest part about you like turn it over to call me out on that was I realized I've been sitting here. I'm like, man, they've been talking about unicorns for a while here. And I'm like, I've got nothing to say here. And the moment I decide, you know what? I'm just going to hard stare at the cam with a very nothing face is when you go, I'm sorry, John. It was perfectly timed. Because I was like, did he see that quick?
I could have if I actually looked down there, but no, I didn't. No, that was completely other topic. But no, really enjoying it though. Like I said, just trying to get through Persona 3 Reload. I'm in that last zone of it, like the long stretch of Tartarus, like the big fancy white area, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm in that area now. Shout out to the Persona 3 DLC pack that was announced during that Xbox Partner Direct. So the answer is coming, and it's coming in September.
And if you have Game Pass, you can currently download it for free for ahead of time.
Yep, which I've already done. So I've already gotten the first little bit of DLC, which is just some more music. And that's nice because you're now able to change your dungeon crawling music, which is really cool because you can just throw on, like Life has Changed or something. But, like in my case, I'm in that last like white area. Gentle Madman's on there, so I was just like, "Oh, this fits really well. I like this." That's one of my favorite tracks from P5 is P5R is Gentle Madman. So yeah, like the DLC pack, like the extra music. But the answer will be fun to play, especially for someone like me that's never played it. Anyway, you guys have anything else? You guys ready to hit the weekly wrap up?
Dived into Tekken 8 online fighting. I'm doing as well as I expected.
Right.
1 out of 3. I do like, at least in this one, it initially sets you up for automatically do sets of 3 instead of just one match and get peace out.
Okay.
That's all I really got for that.
What about you, John? You got anything else?
Just wanted to mention game I've talked about multiple times before. Stolen Realm is officially in its 1.0 now. They did some updating on it, added a new class tree, and kind of shuffled around where some of the skills were at. And like had a few more little updates in that to it. So just wanted to point that out. I've been playing it a little bit since the release, and still a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, well, before we hit the weekly wrap-up, let's give a special shout-out to our sponsor, Agent Inc. You can use the referral link down below and pick up a jersey, whether it be the Sparky 3 brand jersey, AniMan Plus, Gamesthetic, or a Terrible Football Show. We also have a couple hats as well. Make sure to show some support in that regard because we have the best jerseys on the entire website. Again, use the referral link down below to head over to Agent Inc. and pick up some of our merch because it's 10 out of 10 merch. Would recommend. All right, boys, let's get to the weekly wrap-up. Get out of here. So the first thing that I've got here for us, Deviation Games shuts down. This is a new studio that got it was a Summer Game Fest spot with Jeff Keighley announcing that they exist, that they have a partnership with PlayStation, a publishing partnership that would give them financial security for years to come. Well, I guess that for years to come was 3 years because they have now shut down as of last Friday. They were working on a, quote, groundbreaking AAA original IP. This was a team made by COD vets. And I wanted to shout this out not only because it's news, but it also ropes into our conversation 2 weeks ago on the last episode where I pointed out with the whole game industry is burning. We see all the time these random-ass studios popping up of this new studio with these devs making a AAA game, and that's all we know. And it's stuff, and then we see stuff like this years later. It's like, oh, that studio now shut down. So, I mean, it sucks for the people that was working on the game. Hopefully they can get some jobs pretty quickly. But it's just, that's the first thing I thought of is like, this is still the continued trend that we see all the time. Talking about Unicorn Overlord, though, you got some sales. Debuted at #1 and sold over 74,000 units over in Japan. Atlas announced that it was mostly sold out and restock was coming. So that's awesome. That's a big W, man. Shout out to Unicorn Overlord popping off right now. Some PS5 Pro specs were leaked out, and they apparently are real per Tom Henderson, who's basically had a tap on the Sony vein over the last couple of years with the PS5 revision, PS5 Portal, and he also had the PS5 Pro existence all confirmed well in advance, and he said that these specs are right. It's 45% faster than the PS5, 2 to 4 times ray tracing, super upscaling support for 8K is planned, and it's set for a fall launch. This is going to be one of those things where it's like this PS5 Pro is really like, if you just really want it, like the PS4 Pro made sense because it's like 4K was starting to really boom and take off, whatever. This really is like if you just want it. I know time-wise it makes sense because we're about to hit 4 years from the PS5 launch, but I still feel like we've barely scratched the surface of the PS5.
This is one of those things where it's like, yeah, you just read off some stats there of what it's supposed to be.
Yep.
This is a list of meaningless stats. Because nothing that has been made so far has pushed the console.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing has used the full potential of it. So this is just, hey, we're gonna do it because we can.
Yeah, that's all this one is. Like again, PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, those made sense because 4K was starting to boom, 4K TVs and stuff. That makes sense. This is just like, if you want it,
Yeah.
if you want it.
This almost feels like. We usually do one about this time, so we're going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same vibe. I
most of the time, they need to because the console is it's like where the Switch was at on release, where everything is already using everything that it has.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Next thing, I don't know if you guys saw this, but that Star Wars Battlefront collection
was awful.
Disaster of a launch. So it launched with apparently 3 servers active, and you can only get 64 players into a lobby, so do the math on how many players you can get in there. And they had like over 10K people on Steam trying to play the game.
You know what it's like this is 100% unacceptable.
Yeah.
Of only having 3 servers, 64 people. Come on, it's like, what do you even thinking?
I was about to say, it's like they don't even know the history behind this game series.
Yeah, right. It's just like they really thought no one was gonna play it.
But correct me if this is just here's the old game.
Yes.
Here's the egregious part about it. It's $40.
$40 and it's a shit show.
It is $40 for this collection.
Yeah, for Battlefront 1 and 2. Yep.
To get this, and then you pay $40 for old games that are nostalgia bait, and then you can't even play them because they only allow...
You can't play them online.
Yeah, because they allow 192 people to play.
Yeah.
you can still
or
relive your
194
childhood
people
by playing solo by
per
yourself in your
server or
bedroom
something.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you could play against, but the fact that like, really,
Yeah.
it's like I had seen some videos and stuff coming out about this already. I'm like, and then I looked at it on Steam because I saw it pop up on Steam. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Mostly negative.
Before that, I saw the price point and I went, there's no way.
Yeah.
And then you look at it, it's like it's just a dumpster fire.
Yep. Yep. That's always the conversation behind these ports, because the conversation came up as well with the Mario Day announcements that I'm going to go over, where Luigi's Mansion 2 HD got its release day and everything, and its price is $60. And it's just like, I saw some people do some jokes about it. So like, would you pay $60 for Luigi's Mansion 2? It's like, I don't want to, but I guess. I just want to play it, but I don't want to.
Well, it's one of those, because here's my only thing with like the what is it, Battlefront collection. You can pay $40 for the Battlefront collection.
Yep.
Or you can pay $40 for Helldivers 2.
Which is also having server issues, but for an entirely different reason.
Yeah, it's having server issues because they can't make enough. They can't implement enough. This is just the entire time I saw this, I was like, what a price point. What a bunch of decisions that came along to make this a horrible news story for them.
Which should have been an easy cash grab.
Yeah. It's like you didn't even have to keep. It's like you could have just rented a bunch of servers for the weekend, because realistically, people wanted to hop in and play this for a weekend and be like, "Oh yeah, look at all the nostalgia." Those 3 servers might have been enough a week from now.
The nostalgia and being able to play a game that should have been online during a time that online wasn't a thing.
They tried to give you the real old school experience.
They really did, man. They really tried to dial that in. It's just like they want a 1-for-1. We're gonna give you a 1-for-1. Oh my god, dude! What a dumpster fire. We have Game Enjoyer in the chat saying what they did to it is just you just can't. You just can't. You just can't do it.
You can, and we've seen the aftermath of it.
Yeah, it's like you just can't do it. What?
It should have been such an easy cash grab.
It really was, man.
I wouldn't have even faulted them.
He also says, and also for democracy. Yeah, he's on the Helldiver train. Let's go, boys.
Like you said, Zach, it's like these are all of this that keeps happening. It's like this is just nostalgia bait, quick cash grab. Here's the thing. How do they keep fucking it up?
I know,
everyone keeps fucking it up.
I know.
I wasn't planning on buying this collection, but I saw it was out and I was like,
I was interested in buying it.
That's awesome. You can live out how you wanted to play it way back when on PS2 or Xbox.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. You had the layup and you messed it up. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep moving through the weekly wrap up. The next thing, Persona 6 is rumored to be day and date release for Xbox plus PC and everything. That was per Nate the Hate, just kind of randomly dropped that during DirectBox, which is like the Spawn Waves Xbox podcast. But then I saw on Twitter that the notorious Atlas leaker that has a perfect track record chimed in and say, no, this is actually 100% correct. Persona 6 will release day and date on Xbox. So I was like, okay, that's cool.
Here's the thing. I don't care. Give me a trailer.
Yeah, I know. Need a trailer at this point, but
it makes sense at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna release more than likely on Game Pass. If it's gonna release on Game Pass, they're gonna make the PC variant for it anyway.
Yeah.
So the PC players can play it there. Why not? At that point, you're just like, let's just do it.
Right.
Just don't cuck us like with 5 and wait a year after Japan has it.
Yeah, see, that's going to be the other thing, too. You know, I wasn't into Persona at the time, but I know of that. That would...
2 years.
Yeah, that,
Was it 2 years?
That would
No,
be
I'm
brutal.
saying they're going to do 2 years now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Atlas East are going to be cuckholes.
Yeah. Anyway, next up was the Mario Day announcement. So the first thing is the Mario Bros. Sequel movie is official in development. Will arrive on April 3rd, 2026. No surprise there. We also got the release dates, like I said, for Luigi's Mansion 2 HD in June 27th, and then Paper Mario 1000 Year Door Remake on May 23rd. Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, Dr. Mario for the Game Boys come in NSO, and lastly, Lego Mario Kart sets are announced for 2025. Feels kind of fitting because we're gonna get a console next year, so maybe a new Mario Kart
I have
game.
to ask, seeing as I didn't watch this, and I want for clarification.
I did not watch it, so I'll see if I can answer.
So it says Lego Mario Kart sets, like actual Legos, or
Actual
I'm a
Legos.
Lego sets.
okay,
Yes.
not
A
some.
game. It's not a Lego
Not
game,
a,
no.
okay, cool.
But a Lego Mario Kart game would go hard. But no, it's just sets.
Okay,
Yeah, it's just sets. Last couple things we got here. First up is some news involving Pocket Pair. Of course, that's the developers of Pal World. They
announced the first raid.
Shout out to that. They are also in talks to release Pal World on more platforms, which is always a W. The game costs less than $6.7 million to make. They only have 55 employees, and they are open to acquisition or partnership talks, but they are not currently engaged with Microsoft on it. The CEO does want to continue to make smaller games, though, so that's good.
I'm surprised you put the last thing in because I didn't even realize you were aware of that one.
What, Multiverses?
Yeah.
Of course I'm aware of it. I follow everything.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I follow everything. Yeah, Multiverse set to return May 28th. So, and there's like new characters and stuff like that coming. So,
And a new map.
look, I may not play the game, and I may not give a shit to play the game, but I follow gaming news, and that's all that matters. So, I follow the news. Does it mean that I know the news and what it means? No, but I follow it and I shout it out. But I don't know everything about it. But no, I mean, Multiverses, glad to see it finally come back. I'm going to be very curious
The
to see
one
when
thing-
it comes back and if it pops off again.
We shall
That's
see.
what I'm gonna
The
I'm
biggest
waiting
thing
for.
here is that they did, which makes sense why they killed the game now, is they completely redid the game in Unreal Engine 5.
All right, that does make sense. That's pretty exciting for Multiverse.
I mean,
fans.
still dumb that they had the open beta, but never once said open beta.
Yeah, they basically just released the game, saw the massive popularity for it, and then went, "We'll see in what has it been like?"
It's been almost half a year.
I was gonna say it's been. I thought it'd been longer than that. It's like we'll see you like in a year or so.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole because I'm part of their Discord channel, and they had a big whole. They pinged everybody with it.
Yeah.
They did like 3 days of pings of just like a message just going, mic test, neck pay, mic test good, and then they did a reveal trailer of the new release of March or May 28th, where it's like the full release, and more or less they redid the entire game in Unreal Engine 5.
Mm-hmm.
More characters are going to come out with release. There's at least 2 or 3 new maps going to be with the release as well.
The weirdest thing about them taking it away, rebuilding it in Unreal Engine 5, and that is, they never called it an open beta, and they had a store where you could spend real money,
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
and then they just took it away.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like, see ya.
Where was the backlash?
Right.
Oh, it was there on their Discord, but they managed to alleviate some of it because, as far as I understood, they did some refunds, and then as I think they said something about account.
Well,
They didn't delete anyone's account.
Yeah,
from my
we
understanding.
created accounts for it, so we
Yeah.
should be able to log in and have all of that
Yeah.
when we come back. But it's just one of those where it's like, when you think about that, how did they get away with that without
Right.
not being a big story?
Right.
Yeah, there should have been a bigger backlash than it was.
Yeah. No.
But I think the big thing there was that the player base did have a big fall off because by September, because they did the drop in like summer, but by like September, October, most of their player base was gone because I was part of the small player base that was still there when Gizmo came out, and it just slowly kept dropping off.
Yeah, that was around the time of it came out, it was fun to play, but like a lot of the other big fighting games in the community or that were like in the community were also on their last legs.
Yeah.
So people were kind of hopping between a bunch of games at that point in time.
Also, one last shout out that I meant to throw on there because Andy personally reached out to me to tell me this, and I just remembered, so I want to make sure I shout it out for Andy because I love Andy and he's a great guy. He made sure to reach out to me and he said, "All right, stud, huge gaming news for fans of original RuneScape. Apparently, the original creators have launched a trailer. I watched the trailer
Bring this up.
for a new game they're working on. It's a brand new MMO they've been working on for 10 years. It's called Brighter Shores. Andy says it looks cozy and looks like an absolute skilling time sink, basically just a new RuneScape.
Well, no. So it's the game is supposed to be almost kind of the opposite of RuneScape. It's supposed to be a less grindy game. There's supposed to be a ton of stuff that you can do, but actually doing it is not supposed to be a massive time sink grind fest that RuneScape is.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be a more accessible, like you have a ton of options to do whatever you want to, but in a more relaxed fashion where it's not going to take you 10 years.
Right. Okay. Shout out to that. Brighter Shores. Trailer's out now. You can go check it out if you're a fan of RuneScape. Get excited for it. Boys, you got anything else? Are you ready to hit the music and get out of here?
The final season 2 started this week. New map, new battle pass, new gun.
Okay. You, John, you got anything?
What the
Backpack Battles.
I saw that.
The demo, it's like the early access demo portion of it is back. So it's kind of a auto battler. It's fun. It's a quick time killer. It'll be released, or the demo is back out now, and the game is available later on. There was another 1.0 release that was coming up. I don't remember what it is, but I'll mention it next week.
Okay.
Naraka Blade Point Season 12 started recently. New character, new weapon. Yeah.
Okay. I guess the last thing for me is, I know everyone's super excited about Dragon's Dogma 2. I keep seeing all the trailers and stuff come out for it, but don't forget Rise of the Ronin comes out too. That looks pretty sweet. Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I mentioned at the top of the show, but shout out to the Dragon's Dogma 2 actually releasing the character creation tool ahead of time, which, because
I've seen some whack.
Some of the most fun is creating that, and the way that it's its own tool where you can create 5 characters and companions in it, and that can be directly ported into the game when it comes out.
And that creator's got a lot to it.
It does.
And this is just one of those things that doesn't happen very often, and the same with like demos coming back. Very glad to see something like this happen.
Yep. All right, let's hit the music and get out of here, boys.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Hope you enjoyed this. And if you like the wrestling talk, be a lookout for something that Alex may or may not be working on.
Yeah, do everything he said more. And if you like what you saw here, even with, like he said, the 30-minute wrestling tangent, then we'll be here again next week about the same time. We do these Saturdays about 6 p.m. And might do some wrestling stuff soon.
Hey, shout out to Terrible Wrestling Show coming to Sparky 3, baby. I was working on the logo earlier and it looks sick. I'm really proud of it so far. So that is a legitimate possibility. But anyway, make sure y'all check us out on our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free or sign up for $5 a month, and we'd appreciate their support. Just like their support by checking out some Rogue Energy and Agent Inc., both with the referral links down below. Use promo code BOGO50 over at Rogue to pick up a shaker for 50%, an extra shaker for 50% off. So big shout out to that. We'll be back next week. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye.